I would like to give a special nail addict shout out to I Love Nails, Kay Wilderness, Queen Miss Chris, and April Shorty for being the first four to comment on my last video. I thank you ladies oh so much.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hey y'all, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Sheena, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into today's set. So for today, I am using my 123 Go XXL square tips from NailHoliday. And for today's polygel, I'm using Referral. It's just going to be a single color nail set today. So we're jumping right in, and we are doing the lazy girl method again today. And I am starting with my first bead on each nail. I'm going to just squeeze in enough to fill pretty much half of this nail. But this nail is a little bit smaller than a typical XXL. They call it XXL, but for me, this is a very comfortable length. It's a little bit longer than a long nail, but it's nice. So I squeeze in what I would like to use. I'm going to pat that all the way to the sides of the nail and then just kind of blend it down. I do like for my lazy girl nails to be like thinner underneath, especially like because if I needed to scratch or I need to just use my actual nail for anything, I don't want anything too thick. So I do try to keep it pretty thin underneath my nails when doing the lazy girl method. One important factor for me is making sure that the polygel does reach the sides of the nails itself, because it's a pet peeve of mine to like put my finger to the side if I'm using a single color or multicolor polygel and I see that there's a spot that's clear. It does something to me. So I focus a lot on making sure that the polygel does reach both sides of the nail, and I'm just repeating this over all my nails. Once I get this pinky bead applied, I'm going to go ahead and pop that into the nail lamp for a full 30-second cure. So typically I like to do the 2-bead method when doing the lazy girl, because for me it's a little bit easier to and more comfortable to apply the nails. So while that's brewing away in my lamp, I am now starting with prep, because these nails I did end up keeping on for the week. So I'm just pushing at my cuticles with my cuticle pusher to start. Then I'm going to go in with a ball bit and go around the cuticle area to remove any dead skin that may be there. And I'm just going to, again, go around all of my fingers. Then after I go ahead and clean up with the ball bit, I'm going to go in with a mandrel and a fine sanding band, and I'm going to go again around the cuticle just to further remove anything that may be there and just lightly buff over the entire nail. So buffing over the nail, you can actually just use a buffer. I don't mind using that e-file because I'm going at a very low speed, and for me it's going to do pretty much the same amount of damage as a buffer too. But buffing the nail actually does help with the adherence of the nail or the product that you're going to place onto your nail. It gives for a better hold when you do that. So after that, I'm going in with my Model 1's dehydrator over all of the nails. The dehydrator actually just pulls out any oils and such that may be on your nails. Very, very good to use. And then I'm going in with my Model 1's primer. And again, this is for the adherence. So it also helps for products to stick a little better to your natural nail. Typically when doing someone else's nails, I do 2 coats of the primer, but for myself I do 1 because I don't want my nails to be on super good. And then after that, I'm going in with a layer of base coat over all of the nails, and I'm going to give that a 30-second cure. So the base coat is actually to protect my natural nail, but also give the polygel itself something to hold on to. So I was asked in a comment on my last video about the lazy girl, will it pop off like a dual form? For me, it has not popped off like a dual form. I only wear my nails for a week at a time. Unless I got something going on, I have worn them for 2 weeks, but typically just a week at a time I do wear my nails. So, and I haven't had any problems. My eldest daughter, she does love the lazy girl method. She just likes the method and everything about it. So she gets these pretty often, and she wears her nails for at least a month before she comes back for another set. Most times. Sometimes she'll come back before, but with these, about a month, and they last. They don't pop off like dual forms. So I guess it just depends. I don't know. I like to use my Couture nails for this type of situation because most of my Couture nails are pre-etched. I think etching the inside may have something to do with it, but these right here are not etched, and I did wear these successfully for the week. But I do feel like etching the inside will help as well. So for my second bead, I'm just applying a small bead towards the cuticle just to kind of fill in the rest of that nail. And around the cuticle, I'm going to make sure it's nice and thin. And then I'm going to go ahead and just blend that into the first already cured bead. And just lightly place that onto my nail, making sure that if there's any spillage, I'm going to take a brush and clean that up. And then I'm going to give that at least a 10-second cure to keep it in place. Once I do get all of them applied, I go in for a full 30-second cure. Now, it is also important to turn over your nail before curing to make sure that none of the polygel is like thick underneath or like just overkilling. I'll have to show that in the next video, but I do mine pretty thin to the point I never have a problem with my underside. It's always really comfortable. There's not bulk or anything. Now, at first when I started this method, obviously, but as time has come and I've been doing this now for years, it's fine. I don't have a problem with anything underneath. But I'll try to remember to show you that the next time I do Lazy Girl so you can see what I mean. So this is what the nails look like after being file shaped and buffed. Y'all, I was recording me filing I thought I was, and hadn't pressed play. So they were using Bold White and Eternal Bliss for the set. And it's Madam Glam gels, and I will have them linked down below if you're interested in the colors that I'm using today. But I'm going to take Eternal Bliss, and I'm going to make a French tip on my index, my pinky, and my thumb with this particular shade. So I wanted purple nails, and I'm not sure why, but I know I did actually want purple nails, and I just went with Eternal Bliss because it does scream spring to me, this color. It's not like your typical pastel purple for spring, but it is a really nice vibrant spring shade in my eyes. So I feel like this would be definitely perfect for the vibe I was going for. And again, I love these nails in particular. I don't like square much because most square nails I get are very bulky on me and they just look really weird. I just can't get jiggy with a square nail. But for whatever reason, these square nails here are so freaking comfortable. They're very nice. They don't look super bulky. They just look really nice. So when I want to wear a good square, or just like switch up my shape on my nail, because you know I'm a coffin girl at heart, but when I want to switch up my my nail shape, this is a go-to for me, is the XXL square nail from Couture. So y'all, this video was supposed to be up last night, but I ended up having some troubles with my truck. So about a month ago, I was taking my nephew home, and on the way home, my truck just stopped on me. So I called my dad and told him I think I need a jump. So he comes, but by the time he gets to me, something just told me to try to crank the truck. So I tried to crank the truck, and it cranked up and was working ever since. But that day, my dad was like, I think that's your alternator. You may want to go get that checked. Well, I took it to AutoZone so that they can check it, and they tell me, oh, the alternator's good, the starter's good, the battery is good, everything is basically good on the vehicle. So I'm like, okay, cool. Even though I felt a little something, you know your vehicle. When you've been driving a vehicle for so long, you do learn it, and so you know it. And I just knew something wasn't right, but they told me that everything was good. So yesterday, one of my daughters, my second oldest, and I'll get back to that story in 1 second. Let me just tell you guys what I'm doing on the nail now. So for the middle finger, I'm going to create a French tip here as well. So my second oldest is going to high school next year, and she wants to be a cheerleader. So I took her to the high school for conditioning and was going back to pick her up. When I parked in the parking space, the alternator light came on, brakes. The dash was like lighting up. So I got really, really nervous. And the car turned off. So lo and behold, my dad came to rescue me yet again and give me one moment to tell you what I'm doing on the set, and I'll get back on that story. But now I'm taking this Macart blooming gel, and I love blooming gel. It's a very nice product that has a nice effect. So you want to make sure the layer is thin though, because blooming gel is really thick. So the thicker you do it, it just becomes a mess. So I'm taking Eternal Bliss, and I'm just going to do some lines into this nail and let it bloom out and create a design. And it came out really nice. I ended up repeating the same thing on my pinky, so I'm going to put blooming gel on the pinky, and then I am going to use Eternal Bliss to make a similar design. I do let it sit for a moment to spread, and then I give it a full 30-second cure in between each of the nails. So back to the story. I'm sitting in the parking lot. The car goes completely dead. Well, my radio turned off first, and then the car went dead. My dad comes, he jumps me again, it starts, and then it dies again. So this is at like 6, and at this point I still need to do my voiceover and everything, which I had everything mapped out for a successful upload last night. The moral of the story here that I'm trying to get to is that I should have listened last month. Well, I did. I actually went and got a check. So I don't trust AutoZone anymore with their machines that check things, because this woman clearly told me everything was good and it wasn't. So last night I did not get in until 10 o'clock because we sat waiting on AAA. So they sent someone out to us, but they sent the wrong person because I have a truck, an SUV. They sent someone that cannot tow an SUV. So we had to wait for the right tow. They came, and we went ahead and towed it to the shop where I was going to get it done. So this morning I had to get up, drive over. Well, I could have called, but I'm an in-person type. Like when I'm handling my business, I want to see you and I want you to see me. So I got up early and went over to the shop and let the gentleman know what was going on, and they are working on it right now. So I should have my vehicle today, but that is why we didn't have a video last night. And I apologize, but I'm here, I'm showing up for y'all, and you still get your fried egg video. It's always something. That's all I can say, is it's always something. So jumping back into the set, I am now top coating over all of my nails because the next step that I want to do needs a top coat underneath, because you want to make sure with certain designs that the base of your nail is already how you want it. So if you want it glossy, it should be that, or if you want it matte, it should be that. So I'm just top coating over all of these nails, and then I am going to give it a 30-second cure in my lamp. So for the index, I'm going in with Eternal Bliss, and I'm going to do a croc print design. If you know me, you know I used to love croc print. Man, I used to do this all the time, and I like the embossed one better. So basically for that ring finger and the pinky, I was going to do a croc print in the blooming gel form, but I just opted out of it and just did anything on those nails. Because the blooming gel croc design is cute, but I really love this type of croc design. It is so cute. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the polish and I'm creating this design, but I'm making sure that the gel polish is raised off of the nail. And then I'm going to leave that wet, and I'm going to pour over some clear acrylic to make that embossed effect. And I love it. I love it. I feel like this design is so elegant and to die for. I love a good croc. I could do this on every nail set, at least one nail, and be completely satisfied. But again, to me, it's just a really nice go-to design for me. So this next design I'm doing, I've never done it before, and I definitely am going to try it again because I feel like I could have done better, but again, I've never done it. So I'm taking my Macart rhinestone glue, and I'm going to create 3 dots over to the left side of this nail. So I cannot remember the proper name for this design. I be hearing like seashell, I don't know. I have no clue what the name of this design is, but it's a really cute design. I saw one where, like an inspo picture where they have like every nail was 3D gel like this, like not this same way. I will have to show you guys, but I want to try to recreate that set because it's so freaking cute. Like, I love this 3D look. It's amazing. So I really haven't even watched a video on how to do this. I'm just kind of winging it of how I see them and how they look. So I took the gel and made a ball, and now I'm going to take my nail art brush and go through it to kind of make a I don't know what you call that. I don't know. I was just winging this. I have not watched a video of anybody doing this. I have seen the designs going around Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. So pretty, so elegant. But I haven't literally watched anyone do it. So I know I could do better. I was just giving it a trial run to see how it felt to manipulate the gel and move the gel. So for this also, you want to use a gel that is non-stick. So basically this Macart rhinestone glue is good. Once you cure it, there's no tacky inhibition layer or anything like that. And I don't know if they sell rhinestone glues like that, I'm just saying. And then I repeated the same thing over my thumb as well. And I hope that everyone is having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. It's greatly appreciated. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the Nail Addict family. And I thank you so much for joining me on my nail journey. If you've been subscribed, new or old, I love you so, so much. And I'm just extremely grateful and thankful for you all. So to go ahead and sum up the set, I'm using some rhinestone glue again on the middle finger, and I'm just going to place a very simple placement here. So 2 like diamond AB rhinestones and one of the bigger circle ones right on that nail. I'm going to give that a 30-second cure. Off camera, I do apply some cuticle oil, and I'll be back in just a moment with the final look. And here's the finished set. Super pretty. I really love the square look on me. It came out really, really nice, but comment down below and let me know what you think of the set. And if you've made it this far into the video, I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my future sets. I thank you all for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next one. Remember to be the very best you that you can be, and much love to all.